Dalton Schultz on the Deep Slant, presented by Xfinity. Dalton, first of all, I love your Instagram handle, Bingham Baller 9.
Yeah, you said it right.
Is it Bingham?
Nice. Yep.
Okay,
That's my
Bingham,
high school.
your high school and your town that you grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's 9, so there's like 8 ballers ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm the 9th one. You know, it's a deep list. You know, Twitter. No, 9 is like my favorite number. I've worn 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've worn 9 since high school, so that's kind of where it originated.
You grew up in Utah. You wore 9 in high school. Were you a tight end in high school as well?
Yep.
You've always been a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know.
So I grew up like 8 to 13. I was a center, like a guard.
Okay.
And then like when I hit 13, dropped a bunch of weight, made weight for like my last year of Little League because we had the X-Man rule.
Okay.
Which I don't know if people.
No, I don't know what that is.
So it's like if you're over a certain like weight threshold, they put an X on your helmet. You can't carry the ball.
Oh.
So I got under that threshold so I could be like outside linebacker, tight end, and then I got to high school and then like became a
tight end.
A tight end. We had enough players on our team where we could like kind of platoon style.
Sure.
So I mean, we had 11 on offense and then 11 on defense. So
in Utah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
the
we
football.
we were a bigger school in Utah.
I was going to say a big high school powerhouse in Utah.
Yeah, we weren't necessarily
Who knew Bingham
back then, but yeah.
Okay, so then you went to Stanford. So Stanford was your first choice. Any other schools that you were thinking about?
Like in state, I probably would have gone to Utah. I'm not a BYU guy at all. I know it's like the holy war.
Everybody goes to right. Okay.
I wanted to get out of of the state.
The country of Utah.
Yeah, the country too. Yeah. And so like I wanted to like pursue a place that would kind of benefit me. Not only in the football side, but like the academic side,
intellectually
obviously.
Too, yeah.
Stanford. I mean, you can't really beat it.
No,
like,
you cannot.
Especially when I was coming out, and like, I mean, they were kind of in the mix for national title contention, and so yeah, I think that was just like a no-brainer for me. So I was like, dude, like this is amazing. You guys use 3-4 tight ends at a time. Like run the ball well, throw the ball well. Like, yeah, I want to be a part of it.
You didn't get like an engineering degree or anything like that, like Andrew Luck, right?
It was a BS though. I did get a BS. It was an STS, which is Science, Technology, and Society.
Science, Technology, and Society.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So that was like one of the majors that like you could kind of like. It was a little more flexible than some of the other ones, and so like I was able to kind of like make my own course plan and course load, and I structured it around. I completely structured it around like video game design. So I took like as many like programming / design courses that were totally focused on like making games and like making video games.
Is that what you would have done, you think, had you not played football?
Yeah, I would have done something in the industry.
Really? All right.
It was either that or like architectural something or another.
Yeah.
I think those are the two like
that you would have
the aspects of learning that appealed to me the most. Because I was like, dude, I'm in college playing football. This is amazing, but like
and you're getting an amazing degree at the same time,
but the
too.
school stuff, it's like, I'm going to do something that is like fun. So like learning's not, a chore.
Yeah.
On top of all this running and lifting and practicing.
It's techie and it's creative at the same time. It's like
and it's in Silicon Valley. I was like, this is like the perfect.
You're set.
But they didn't have a game design that like.
But you settled for the NFL instead.
Yeah, that's
poor you.
It was a solid backup. It was a good backup
with
plan.
the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, so you get drafted by the Cowboys, and I was reading a little bit about your history. I mean, you had a bit of a tough road early on. I mean, even though you were a draft pick for the Cowboys, you had to sort of work your way up on the depth chart, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I played. I want to say my first game, I played like 3 or 4 snaps. And then I ended up like healthy scratching for the next 5. And then I think our starter went down. He broke his wrist, and then like I was kind of like moved up and got some more playing time. And then it was like, I finished the year like getting a pretty solid amount of playing time, like a few catches, like nothing crazy, but I was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of like take more
be in the NFL now. Yes.
Take more of a role in the offense. And then guy Jason Witten comes back, and I'm like, dude. It honestly was like I say this completely seriously. Like it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me was like
to have him come back
100%
and learn under him.
Because
I was just wondering emotionally, like you're like, okay, Jason Witten's gone. They need a guy. They need a tight end. You get drafted.
Also, it's like
and then he comes back. Like we're watching it. It's like funny because I've never thought about that story from like a tight end's perspective, let alone one on the team.
To be honest, like I think my rookie year, like I just wasn't ready. Like mentally I maybe was, but like that leap from college to the NFL physically, especially when you're playing in the trenches all the time, like dude, it takes a year or two to kind of get your feet under you to feel like, okay, I feel comfortable blocking like one-on-one with like these huge DNs.
The NFL type players,
athletic freaks. And so I think, kind of having that a little bit of like, bite of the apple my rookie year, and then kind of taking a step back and like seeing what, a walking Hall of Famer is able to like, kind of how he goes about his week. That was like, the best. I'll say it again, is the best thing that happened for my career for sure.
What do you think was the biggest lesson that you learned from him? Like being a pro, obviously, but like anything else that you felt like you would not have gotten about the position or the game had he not come back?
Yeah, honestly, there's too much things to like put on any one. Like I've learned so much. Like my film study habits like are literally just straight from him. Like I sat him down and asked him one day, and I was like, hey, like how do you prepare? Like how do you watch film? What do you look for? Like what's your film schedule through the week? And he like walked me through it, and that's literally what I do.
You do that.
So I still prepare and watch film just like that. And then, just to like have an example of a guy who's just obviously been able to do it and do it at the highest level for as long as he did, like you learn how to kind of carry yourself, and you learn how to practice and like things to do, things to like, necessarily like put a bunch of extra time into, and things kind of not to worry about. Like honestly, watching him do like the offense against scout team was like very valuable.
Is that right?
Because there's some things that he was just like he would lose on the block, and I'd be like, oh, did he just got beat? And then he'd be in the film room, and he's like, yeah, like that's the exact footwork that I'm taking to the game, because like DN's not going to play like that. It's like, I don't care about this rep.
Oh,
like,
interesting. Okay.
Like and so seeing his focus on like, how he would prepare, kind of like, that just helps a young player
sets you
too.
up.
Yeah. So.
It sets you up nicely. You've had like back-to-back games with a touchdown. So can we talk about just your touchdown celebration with CJ Stroud? Because you didn't even throw you that touchdown. It was first of all, we'll talk about Singletary in a minute. We'll talk about Motor in a second.
Yeah.
But just the rapport with CJ, the touch. He's got a celebration with everybody, and it seemed like you guys have your own thing too.
Yeah, that's like his thing. He's a big handshake guy.
Okay.
And so like,
so who came up with the handshake? You or him?
He did.
He did. He's like, this is going to be our handshake.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Okay. And so, what is your? Can I ask you? Like,
nah, you just got to see it.
I saw
run
it.
The clip.
You guys,
Somebody run the clip.
Yeah, we'll run the clip here. But you did like this arm crossing thing, and then like I can't
we'll mix it up.
We'll
see the next one. Like now that you've called us out on it, we'll
it's
have
gonna be different.
We'll have something in the back pocket for the next one.
Yeah, so I noticed that he's got different hand. First I thought it was a West Coast thing, but then I was like, no, it seems like for every player, he's just got a different celebration.
Yeah, everybody.
And he didn't even throw that touchdown. He was so happy for you. So
it's my dog.
Yeah. How about Motor's skills at quarterback?
Oh my God, you talk about a ball, like a ball coming from a running back too. Like he put it back, shoulder, spiral. I was like, dude, you keep throwing balls like that, I'm gonna have to buy you a watch or something, bro. Like.
And I heard that play did not go well in practice the week. Like you guys tried that play earlier in practice.
Yeah, he overthrew it in practice.
And then you weren't nervous.
But as soon as he overthrew it, I was like, oh, this is about to. It's
not
about to
be
work.
Good.
No, it's about to work.
Oh, okay.
As soon as he like threw it over my head in practice, I was like, oh yeah, we're dialed.
Really?
Yeah.
So that doesn't make you nervous that when you run a play in practice?
It's funny. Sometimes like the bad stuff that happens in practice like solidifies that it's going to be good for the game. But yeah, because you get the bad rep out. Like,
oh, you're like, I had one bad rep
the defense does something and like, somebody messes it up and it's like, oh, freak, like I missed my assignment.
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to be
perfect in the game.
Because like you had the hard look in practice. You had the messed up.
I'm so curious because what if you have a great rep in practice? Does it work the other way?
Heck yeah, no.
No, it doesn't work the other way.
It's going to be great in the game too. Everything is good.
It's always going to be great. I like that attitude. I like the positivity. All right, so CJ's your dog. You guys worked a lot this offseason together. Like you guys got close.
Yeah.
And he has said some really great things just about you being a security blanket for him. You're a veteran in the league. What is that like, your relationship with him, a guy so much younger? When you signed here, you didn't even know that he was going to be your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just like the scheme that we have, like the kind of the Shanahan offense, it's a lot of timing and rhythm. And like as soon as, we picked him, and I was like at the forefront of my mind is like, hey, we need to start building that rapport and that timing and that rhythm, because that's the most important thing that especially a tight end can have with his quarterback, is just, giving him a spot that he knows exactly where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there. And like, I know exactly where he's going to put that ball on what look. So, that was definitely like something that I want to get started on like right away, because those things take time to kind of grow and like build confidence in. And I think that, he's done a good a job as anybody on preparing and, making sure that he's right and his eyes are in the right spot and he's making the right throws. And, I think just continuing to build that kind of rapport with each other is going to be, key. I think that, when you have a guy that you can really count on, it opens up the offense regardless of where that position is, whether it's, receiver, running back, tight end. Like, you start building a good enough rapport with a guy, like teams are going to kind of hone in on that. And then, other guys are going to be open. So.
Yeah, I remember you saying when you signed here, you actually were drawn to D'Amico because of the defense, right? Because what you saw in the playoffs last year with the Cowboys.
He's got guys in the right spots all the time, like making plays. Like, dude, it felt like every time we played them, like they knew exactly what we were doing. And so it was like, I'm a believer in just the scheme aspect, and so that was obviously attractive
on
to
the
me.
Defensive side of the ball.
On both sides.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this is basically two San Francisco coaches,
right? You're like, we're gonna have
like
the same scheme on both
implemented
sides.
the same ideas, and so I think that for sure that was attractive to me, because they've given me issues. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it's pretty fortunate you got to stay in the state of Texas, right? Because
Dallas
to Houston.
Especially like with the first move.
Yeah.
Like I was, worried.
You spent your whole career in Dallas.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
And so I think the first move being, only 4 hours away, like in terms of just driving.
Yeah.
Like it's not even an hour flight, 4-hour drive.
Right.
Like that's easy.
I mean, you could fly like 100 times a day to Dallas not 100, but there's a lot of flights.
I think there's a little bit more math to do there. But
right.
I mean,
more or
45 minutes, 15, 20 minutes changeover, 24 hours in a day. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very easy to get to Dallas and back. So what do you? I mean, I've lived in Dallas. I lived in Dallas briefly, and there's like this big rivalry between the two cities. What have you thought about that, just coming from Dallas to Houston? Because you have been on the other side of it. People in Dallas, what they think about Houston, Houstonians in Dallas.
To be honest, like I haven't felt that.
Really?
Like, and I could just be out of touch. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like any animosity like from either party, to be honest.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I don't know.
We're going to give you a little bit of time.
Yes. Please, somebody.
I'll give you some time before you start feeling it. What about Tex-Mex? You had some bold opinions on Tex-Mex.
Still not a Tex-Mex
Still
guy.
not a Tex-Mex guy.
Yeah. There's actually one Tex-Mex place that I really like.
In Houston?
No, it's in Dallas. It's called E-Bar.
Okay.
E-Bar is fantastic.
E-Bar. And it's a Tex-Mex place?
Mm.
And so what is the dish that won you over to Tex-Mex? A little bit. I guess you're not fully won over.
It's just the way they do stuff. Like their tacos are kind of a little bit more on like the authentic Mexican side.
Oh,
and then they have like this queso that's just, it's a white queso. Like it's Tex-Mex queso, but it's really, really good. Okay. Really, really bad for you.
Really bad for you.
Yeah,
okay, so your weakness is what cuisine then, if it's not Tex-Mex?
Sushi or Mexican food.
Okay, sushi or Mexican.
Yeah, I'm a big sushi guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sushi.
Yeah. And you grew up in Utah, so where did you start eating sushi?
I started in like high school, maybe.
Interesting.
No, I take that back. It's funny. My first sushi roll was actually at
in Bingham?
Wild Oats, which not many people I'm sure will know.
No.
Wild. It's basically like a Whole Foods-ish type store.
Okay. In Utah?
Yes. And I want to say they had more around the country, but yeah, they made sushi. And my mom like slowly like, hey, you want to try it?
Yeah.
And like it was just tuna rolls at the start, and there was oh my god, what is it called? Aniri.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tofu. Like it's like a bean wrap that they put rice in the middle.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Okay. So you're a big sushi fan.
Yeah.
All right. So sushi. Getting there with the Tex-Mex. What about family? You've got a couple of kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep.
How old are the kids?
My kids are 5 and 2.
Okay.
So my boy just turned 5 in
July.
Oh,
nice.
And then, so he's in kindergarten now. And then we've got a 2-year-old who's very much in the middle of terrible twos. Yeah.
2-year-old. Awesome. What's the best part of terrible twos?
The best part of terrible twos, the nice parts, like the
most entertaining parts.
The crazy energy all over the
All the
place
time.
makes you really appreciate the like 10 minutes of like snuggles that you get like before
Finally,
bed.
they're quiet.
You're like, or like last home game, they were down, and I came out and like I turn the corner and I just hear, "Daddy, I found you!" And like it's my daughter, and she runs up and like gives me a big like. Those moments are great.
So they're old enough to watch you, and they're old enough to know that you play football.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they get like how cool it is necessarily. Like, I don't think they'll get that.
You could probably do
maybe-
anything at this age, and they would think it's cool.
right.
But
and so I think like getting to the point in my career where they kind of understand like how rare it is to be able to be in this position will be cool. But like it's been so nice to come home, especially when they're in the area, just to like, doesn't matter what you did, doesn't matter what happened in that game.
like they don't know if you've
no
scored.
So
Do they know?
my boy actually does. Like
If you scored or
so
if
the
you
first
won.
game, if we won, the
Okay.
first game we came back and he's like, "Dad, you lost."
Oh,
I'm like, "Yeah,
Yes,
we
thank
did." He's
you.
like, "Yeah, you lost to the Ravens because they had more points." I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah.
thanks,
Life
man."
lessons. Yeah. It's like, thanks for the
Yeah,
reminder.
appreciate it.
Well, that's so adorable. All right. So I wanted to wish you an early, happy National Tight Ends Day.
Thank you, big day.
Do you celebrate? How do you celebrate your big holiday every year?
Touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
Yep.
Okay. I like to see
Celebrate with
it.
touchdowns in the end zone.
Okay. Do you have a favorite play?
Yeah, block, release, catch, spike.
Okay.
Yeah, any play with that.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, you block and then you release and then you catch it and you spike it.
I was
Yeah.
like, he's literally going to describe what the play
Yeah,
is
it's
called. I
sweet.
thought I was thinking more details, but
That's sweet. No,
that's
that's
fine.
all the detail. That's very
block,
detail
catch,
oriented.
release.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Block, release.
block, release,
catch,
catch. I've already messed up the play.
Yeah.
Block, release, catch. I'm wishing you lots of touchdowns for National Tight Ends Day. It was a pleasure to sit down and chat with you.
Thanks.